The Olmecs seem to have discovered a very advanced technology with which they can produce mechanical energy from the center of the Earth and from the sun. But their people are getting old, and now they want to try to stop this aging process, so they plan to transplant human cells taken from the children to give to members of their own group. Make sure you watch the next episode of The Mysterious Cities of Gold.
Children of the sun, see your time has just begun. Searching for your ways through adventures every day and night. With the condor in flight, with all your friends in tow, you search for the cities of gold. Wishing for the cities of gold. Someday we will find the cities of gold. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Cities of gold. Children of the sun, someday soon you're gonna find that your destiny holds the secret, holds the key. Someday we will find the cities of gold.
Suppose one night you went upstairs and found a wicked witch in your bedroom. Well, that's what happened to Dinah Price. This witch was dressed all in black. She had a tall black hat on her head, her nose was large and had a wart on it, and her long greenish fingers were clutching the bedclothes under her chin. Dinah noticed it had a few whiskers in it, and the first thing she does is threaten to turn Dinah into a tin of beans. Watch 10 in a bed and find out if she does.
Victoria! She opened the window on me. Right, so that's tomorrow. 10 in a bed at 4:15. Still to come, don't forget, there's Blue Peter, but now it's time for John Craven's Newsround.
Cavers in Wales make an exciting discovery and set a new record. Hello again. A group of cavers who've been exploring a system of tunnels under a remote Welsh mountainside think they've made an important new discovery. As well as claiming a new British record for exploring and filming underground, the team believe they've found a whole new system of caves deep under the Brecon Beacons in South Wales. The 30 cavers finally emerged late last night after spending 9 days underground. But they're determined to continue their explorations at Easter by digging into the newly discovered passageways. Owen Jenkins reports.
Deep inside the mountain, the cavers might just as well have been in a different world. Some of the passageways were large enough to walk through. This one was their underground motorway. They used it to go back and forth from their base camp to their kitchen and bathroom, and for ferrying supplies from the surface. You wouldn't think there'd be many problems getting enough water in such a wet place, but fresh water had to be collected from a spring, which was a 20-minute walk away from the camp. For the more difficult sections, it was a case of blasting through, but great care had to be taken to ensure that everything was wired up correctly and to give the cavers plenty of time to take cover. Sometimes soft sand or mud blocked the path, and the only way to force a way through was to dig. This was very tiring work and took its toll on the cavers' energy. Almost 30 tons of rubble was shifted altogether. Other obstacles were more dangerous, such as the larger boulders. The team now plans to go back at Easter to investigate a rushing draft of air, a significant breakthrough which signals a link to another huge part of the mountain.
Young children in some areas of the country are taking part in medical tests which could help wipe out 3 of the most common childhood diseases within 10 years. They're trying out a new 3-in-1 injection. Just one jab gives lifelong protection against measles, mumps and rubella, or German measles as it's called. In Somerset, one of the testing areas, doctors started the experiment today. At the moment, injections are given separately for each of the 3 diseases, which isn't very popular with patients. so it's hoped more children will come forward if they can get the whole thing over with just one jab. The illnesses are not usually serious, but mumps and German measles can cause problems for older people. So it's important to give the body a chance to build up its defense against illnesses like this with vaccinations. In the past, there have been worries about the safety of vaccines, but the new one has been used safely in America and Sweden for 7 years. And if the tests here are successful, it could be in general use within 2 years. 700 children in northwest England were sent home from school at lunchtime today as their teachers went on strike. Teachers at the Canon Slade School in Bolton walked out shortly before one of the government's education chiefs arrived there. They wanted to make a special protest to the minister in charge of schools, Mrs. Angela Rumbold. She had come to Bolton as part of her job, which includes finding out how schools around the country work. Britain's first helicopter ambulance was launched in Cornwall today to try to improve services for people living in remoter parts of the county. The helicopter, packed with vital life-saving equipment, will be used to speed patients in the southwest of England to hospital. John Francis has more details.
The new helicopter will be based at a big hospital in Truro, in the middle of Cornwall. From there, it'll fly at 130 miles an hour to reach most parts of the county in 20 minutes and the Isles of Scilly in 28. It means a better service for patients in remote places, especially in summer, when Cornwall's roads are often clogged with holiday traffic, which slows down normal ambulances. The helicopter can carry 2 stretcher patients at once, each attended by a paramedic, drawn from the ranks of Cornwall's best ambulance men, who have as much first aid equipment in the helicopter as in a road ambulance. The helicopter will be on a 3-month trial. After that, its future depends on whether the local health authority can find companies who'll sponsor the air ambulance, which will cost £20,000 a month to run.
2 BBC children's programmes and 1 from ITV took top awards at a glittering ceremony in London last night. The BAFTA Awards are given each year by the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. The winner are the performers and producers of the films and television programmes that are judged to be the best of the year. The BAFTA Awards are like Britain's Oscars. Apart from the audience here, millions more watch the ceremony on television. Super Ted, the children's cartoon series for the BBC, won the award for the Best Animated Film of the Year.
Not if I can help it. So long, Super. Oh no. And that goes
Your Mother Wouldn't Like It, produced by Central Independent Television, was judged the best children's entertainment programme of the year. And then 6 television producers waited anxiously for the next children's award, read by actress Jane Asher.
Winner of the Best Children's TV programme, Factual. Oh, my children will be very pleased. The winner is Mike Benyon for The Really Wild Show.
The Really Wild Show has been going for 2 years, and the team say their aim is to get the viewers interested in all animals, not just the cuddly ones. And Ron, the Mexican red-lead tarantula spider, is a regular star. Despite the name, Ron is in fact a female.
Is it? Tickly. It's tickly.
Yes.
And finally, a game that used to be the most popular outdoor sport in England over a century ago is being given a new lease of life. A national croquet competition was launched today, and it'll be open to families all over the country. Helen Rollison has more details.
Croquet is taught in 90 schools. It's a minor sport that is growing fast. It's hoped that a new event aimed at beginners and open to all the family, called the National Garden Croquet Competition, will encourage even more people to take up the sport, literally in their back gardens. Jan MacLeod is an international player.
Well, Jan, is this really a sport for absolutely anyone?
Anybody can play croquet, any age, men, women, children, older people, anybody can play.
Has the image finally died of being on the vicarage lawns and cucumber teas?
I hope so very much, and I hope this competition will also encourage people who haven't played croquet in clubs before, take up croquet and enjoy it.
Charlotte and Sarah have been playing croquet for several years.
I mean, anybody can play it. You don't have to run at all or anything like that, so all you have to do is hit it.
I think it should go to all schools. I think all schools should play comprehensive, all public schools.
Croquet is a tactical game, rather like snooker, bowls or chess. Sarah explains the rules.
You can croquet your partner to help your partner, or you can croquet your opponent. And if you croquet your opponent, the object is to get him as far away from the hoop as possible.
Well, I didn't understand any of that either, but I'm told it's a very simple sport, but it's definitely one for the summer.
Yeah, anyone for croquet. And that's all from Newsround tonight. I'll be back round about the same time tomorrow night. Until then, bye-bye.
Tomorrow, the album visits the Wild West in its search for strange and wonderful shapes.
I'm in for my shirt, my house, my ranch, 7,000 head of cattle, and this little cuddly bear I've had since I was 3.
Yeehaw! The album is tomorrow at 4:35 on Children's BBC. Yeehaw! Now, I don't mind doing a bit of cleaning. I don't mind the hoovering and the dusting and doing the cupboards and all that sort of stuff. But if you ask me, you can take spring cleaning just a bit too far.
Hello? This one. Can I hang on to that little, please?
Start this side for the most.
Right, okay.
That again at the end of the winter.
It feels like it's not moving anything at all.
Hello.
Oh, and that was me on an epic spring clean, trying to tackle a stately home with a massive 73 rooms. A lot different from my place up north, I can tell you. Well, you can see how I got on a little bit later on. But first of all, news of how Japan has come to a corner of Essex.
To the town of Witton, to be precise, where the children of class 5-2 of Powers Hall Junior School have been having some very unusual arithmetic lessons.
Yes, and they don't use calculators or times tables. They use one of these. It's a Japanese soroban, and as you can see, it's just a frame with columns of tiny beads that are used to make lightning calculations. Now, the soroban, or abacus as it's otherwise known, is used all over Southeast Asia in businesses and other places. And almost a year ago, a Japanese soroban instructress came to teach at Powers Hall School. She's called Mrs. Makarian, and today she's giving the whole of Class Fire 2 an arithmetic lesson right here in the Blue Peter studio.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Let's have some oral calculation. Clear your soroban, please. Starting with 123 pounds, 55 pounds, 221 pounds. Take 45 pounds. How many have you got on your soroban? Amias, please.
454.
Read it again.
454.
Ah. Can you give me Lona, please?
354.
Gomez-san, that is 354. Next, 22 pounds, 52 pounds, and 400.
Aren't they absolutely amazing? The whole class of Fire 2 are aged between 8 and 9 years old, and to me, they seem like mathematical wizards. Now, Mrs. Makarian is actually married to an Englishman, and her daughter Nicola, who's 12 years old, and she's working the large soroban at the back. She spent the first 5 years of Nicola's life helping her to speak fluent Japanese. As a result of that, Mrs. Makarian's English didn't improve very much. So that's why she volunteered to teach at Powers Hall School so that her English could improve. They're still at it. Can I stop you, Mrs. Makarian? And thank you very much indeed to all the class for the demonstration. Thank you to Bonnie for getting in everybody's way and putting them off. Nicola, come and join us. First of all, congratulations to Nicola for learning to speak fluent